are live. A beautiful day in sunny Carolina. Did I list this stream? Did I unlist this stream? I don't know. It might actually be live to everyone. I have no idea. I was making moves all morning, and I just got back to the house, and I was like, all right, let me jump on the stream here. But, yeah, I woke up early in the morning, as always, to get my videos done, and I was doing my thing, and I had almost one of them done, and then Aubrey woke up, so I was like, all right, let me take Aubrey. And we were hanging out, we were having a good time, and then Brady woke up really early, like still 6-something. Brady was up. So I was like, all right, I'm going to throw my whole plan out the window here. And Brady, Aubrey, and I, hey RV, hey Melissa. Brady, Aubrey, and I got in the car. We went to the store. Brady wanted to do a surprise for Nicole. And so we set up a surprise. We went to the bagel store, picked up some bagels, came back, and Brady had a bunch of balloons and everything for Nicole, and it was really nice. And then right when I got back, my friend from New York, who I haven't spoken to in a while, I was actually the best man in his wedding, gave me a call. And we were just catching up. You know, I was going to jump on the stream, but I figured I'd talk to him. We were catching up. He's doing really well. His wife is pregnant, so that'll be his second baby. And so many good people are having children, and it's a really beautiful thing. And one of the most fascinating things about my growing on social media in the space that I'm in is I come across so many homeschool families, obviously, so many homesteading families, and what I'm finding is that there are so many families with 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 children that it is just very encouraging. And don't ever let them tell you the future's not bright. Hey, Foster Bear. And I know everyone worries about the whole population thing, but the truth of the matter is, no matter what's going on with the population, the good people in this world, like the moral, traditional people, are having lots of children. So it's pretty clear to me who's going to win the future. In fact, you know, it's very interesting because you have, I better be careful how I talk about these things, but you have groups of people who do things like the Georgia Guidestones, right? Groups of people who maybe aren't thrilled to see population going up, but if you look at the numbers, really, I expect a massive decline in population over the next 30 years. And then when you consider a massive decline in population and that the good people, that traditional people, moral people are having lots of babies, you and people who think like you are going to become exponentially more powerful over the next 30 years. And when I say like it's declining, like there's no question about it. Like it's so funny that people are like, oh my God, it's going up. Like, yeah. Have you looked at the what is it? The birth above replacement ratio? Is that what it's called? Like in most countries in the world, the average couple is having less than 2.1 children. What does that mean? The average couple is not even replacing themselves, right? At best, they're replacing themselves. Usually they're having one child, and those are just for people that are having children, right? So what happens when the baby boomers, right, the big boom in population dies off, and then you have all of these countries in the Western world not having enough babies to even replace themselves, right? Well, it doesn't take a mathematician to figure out, okay, the population is going down. That's something that Elon Musk pointed out a while back, which was interesting. I see them making him into an idol. They are making him into an idol. And that idol needs to be torn down because I don't buy the background story of Elon Musk for even a second. By the way, if you guys have any questions as it relates to homeschooling or education or homeschools connected, just let me know. We had many new members again this week, which is really great. So for new members watching the stream, I probably should have done some housekeeping, but whatever. I'm just gonna shoot the shish today. But yeah, I don't buy the Elon Musk origin story for a second. There's like, oh, he got rich through PayPal. He had $180 million, and then he started a space agency with $180 million, and he was taking on NASA, whose budget is like $57 million a day. It's like, no, none of this story adds up. None of it jives with me. You know, I think he played on people's fears a lot. I think he's a really great trickster, Elon Musk. I think he's faking I mean, Elon Musk, I think, is a really, really adept con man when I see him. You know, he plays on people's fears a lot. So, like, he really played on the climate changing fear and that a large segment of the population believes that, you know, everything will be underwater and they're all, you know, going to die because of man-made climate change, right? He played on those fears a lot. And there's, like, a lot of spells that go into that. A lot of propaganda went into making people believe that, right? And he played on that, and he raised a ton of money, and he got his Tesla cars going, and it's like, oh, those cars run on electricity? Where does electricity come from? Coal? Yeah? How do you get coal? Yeah, not so good for the environment. In fact, anyone that actually pushes through technology that the people that control the energy sector don't want pushed through, they will get a visit from a government bureaucracy and be shut down, right? Like, I'm not making any claims, but I don't know. Have there been people that have discovered free energy sources? I don't know. You do the research. You tell me, right? So if you're actually going against the powers that be and you're actually creating a type of energy like the solar cars, right? The Tesla cars that are a threat to like oil. No. In fact, like I've dug deep into all this stuff. And if you get back to like the Club of Rome and everything, which was chaired by the Rockefellers, like by Rockefeller, right? Oil, that it was actually these think tanks like the Club of Rome, which decided long ago that they would create this fear, right? They would create this fear in regards to climate changing. And they would convince people it was their fault, and they would use that to move over to electric, right? And really, they said they would use that to consolidate power into world government. And that's right in the Club of Rome documents, right? Like you could go back to their initial meetings. I've printed the documents, like hundreds of pages, and read it. This goes back 40, 50 years. They were saying they were going to do this, right? And if you look at who funds the green movement, right? Like, who is the number one funder in the world of the green movement? The oil's going to kill us all, global warming movement. Well, if you get into the funding, before they started using shell men like Gates, it's actually Rockefellers. The Rockefellers. Yeah, the people that run oil, right? So life is, a lot of what happens is an illusion. And when I see Musk, Elon's main income is the Boring Company, digging tunnels for dumbs for Big Brother. Yeah, I don't buy... Hey, Gunter, I don't buy the Musk story for even half a second. Like how he made his money. I don't buy that he's the richest man in the world. I don't buy that for a second. I mean, obviously not. Like the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and these type of people, right, are the richest people in the world. What are their names? You know their names, the Merovingians, the Mer. I'm gonna say it wrong. There's the family that starts with the M out in Italy, right? They're very powerful. So I don't know. There's a lot of these ancient families that are the richest people in the world, but even on like their Forbes list, like I don't buy it with Musk. I think he's doing right now. He's doing to the right wing community what he did to the left wing community. So, you know, he was like he used the climate change fear, right? His dad owned a blood diamond ruby mine. Yeah, that sounds more accurate, right? To me, he probably comes from royalty, Musk. He's probably part of a bloodline. And he used the climate change fears to raise all this money and to kind of fool left-wing America. And now he's using the Twitter situation, social media censorship. He's using that to fool right-wing America to the point where they're making him this idol, right? They're like, oh, Musk for president. Like, yeah, you're sucking that right in. But when I see Musk, I mean, I see probably a globalist who pushes the climate change agenda, which is like the world's biggest Ponzi scheme. Not that climate doesn't change. I actually consider myself an environmentalist, right? But if you compare how I live my life to how these city dwellers live their life, well, they're going to lecture me. But, you know, he kind of bamboozled the left wing, and now I see him doing that with the right wing. And, like, what is he? Like, he wants to put microchips in people's brains. Right, he's a technocrat. He wants to put microchips in people's brains, like have it where everything they do, their biometrics, their medical data, everything could be tracked by a central database. And who knows where that goes with like microchips being put in people. Like, he's all about this stuff. Like, he came out and he supported that whole horn honking situation in the country above the United States of America, right? That country up north. And he was like all about, yeah, I support that. You know what else he supports? Replacing all of those truckers and having trucks be automated, right? Automatic drivers. So it's like, to me, he's a very clever con man. Like his space stuff, it's like, it's such nonsense where Elon Musk hasn't been to Mars. Elon Musk hasn't been to Mars. But again, that gets into a whole nother thing where you just have these spells and people just buy into these spells. Oh, that was him. Wow. Insane to say the least. Yeah. Yeah, so he's quite he's intelligent. He's intelligent and he knows how to play the rhetorical game, right? I mean, he positioned himself at first as the man who was saving the planet from imminent doom, right? And that's how he endeared himself to the left wing. And like, he gets more government money than anyone else, right? Like, he is not fighting the system. Like, I don't know anyone who knows anything about politics, but like, if you're not playing politics, you don't get all those government contracts, right? Right? But he gets more government money than anyone. He has the ability to remember everything he reads. So they say. I certainly don't. But what do I know? I'm not making tunnels under LA, or going to Mars. Of course, neither is Elon Musk, but but that's fine. People could believe, like, they could believe Elon's going to Mars, but I don't think he's going to Mars. I thought, one of the funniest things he did was, like, I appreciate Musk. He's clever. Like, one of the things he did was he put one of his Tesla cars, allegedly, right? He said he put his Tesla car in space. And then they had this video of his car driving in front of, allegedly, a video of Earth. And then when people asked him about it, like, Jesus, that looks fake. And he was just like, that's how you know it's real, because it looks so fake. I was like, he's just mocking them. He's just telling them, like, you idiots, you don't see that this is fake? But, yeah, people could believe what they want with him. So, all right, let me, I like this. This is a light stream today. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and then I was running all over the place because the babies woke up, and I took them out of the house. But this turned out well. Right, also the mouse. I saw that where there was a mouse on an engine in space. We've never even sent a human past the firmament. Yeah, I also believe that as well. I don't believe they've ever sent a human into what they call space. I think that the NASA program is a money laundering scheme. It's a money laundering scheme, among other things. I'm not going to get too into it, but I don't buy the official narrative around what they've done. I mean, like, do 10 minutes of research and it's obvious they didn't land on the moon, right? So if that's your starting point, and like, oh, wow, okay, so they never actually, and again, like, I'm not arguing with anyone. Like, if you want to believe we landed on the moon, go ahead and believe that. But do 10 minutes of research, and it's abundantly clear they never landed on the moon. So from there, you say, okay, well, if that's base, like, if that's the foundation, then they're lying about everything, right? Right, to fund deep underground military bases. Yeah, that makes sense, right? You use that funding. Like, NASA gets $57 million a day. What do they do with it, right? To me, it's a money laundering scheme. I'm sure they use it for stuff like that, to make underground military bases, which are all documented. They're obviously doing stuff with the money. Great class yesterday, very thorough. Yeah, I appreciate that. I really enjoy teaching about the American Revolution, and I really enjoy the challenge of trying to, for lack of a better term, dumb it down to a child's level. And how can I say the same thing in 7 different ways over and over again, right? To help them get it. But I really enjoy it, and it's great to go back through our history. And even with our history, how much of it is true, how much of it is narrative, how much of it, it's always hard to tell, and I'm always learning this stuff. Like, there's stuff I thought I knew 5 years ago that now I wouldn't think are the case, but it's a process, and more than anything, I like giving the children a good foundation in their rights, and I think it's good that children have a foundation, a connection to the founding of the United States of America. And I know people are like, oh, well, this could be fake or that could be fake. But to me, I think we need a nation. And I think that it's good. I want to be surrounded by people that love America. I just don't want them to be tricked into thinking love of America means, supporting conflicts overseas. Because that's what they try to, they try to take your love of America, say your love of America is something called patriotism, and then they say if you don't support our foreign wars for corporate money and banks, then you're not a patriot. And so that's the grabble. But in terms of people loving their country, like, no, I want to be around my nation. I want to be around people that love our country. And my country, like, the government doesn't decide what my country is. The government works for me. And I know people are like, how can you say that? How can you say that? The government works for me. It works for you. And it's just a system, right? Like, the Constitution is just a system. Congress is just a system. The president is a system. The courts are a system. They're no different than a hammer or a wrench, and you can use the system, you could use the tools, or that system and those tools will be used against you. And yes, it's corrupt, but a large part of the reason it's corrupt is because people have become so separated from understanding their rights and their ability to use the tool, use the system, that the corrupt people have really done a number. It's high time to take it back. Yes, sir, it is. Yes, sir, it is. But the thing is, we don't need a revolution. We need a revelation, right? We don't need a revolution. We need a revelation. We don't need armed conflict. We need armed minds. We need people that understand their rights and know how to protect them legally. We need people who get in touch with their morality. We need the restoration of rugged individualism tied in with Christian community, because when you have people that value freedom, that rugged individualism, that won't take debt, they don't want to live in debt. When you have people who don't view children and a wife as an anchor, but as something, right? An anchor, they say, oh, that's an anchor, it's an anchor. No, my wife grounds me. My wife puts my feet on the ground. My children give me direction. They give me purpose. I will never fight as hard as I do knowing my children are here. Right? So when people get back to tradition and they're grounded, they're rooted in their morality, they don't take on debt. They live within their means. They take a lot of responsibility. They do their best to start businesses and hire their friends, and a lot of responsibility. They have lots of children. Brady, he's so funny. Just see him walking down and he's wearing a bathing suit and a big white hat. Hey, Papa Bean. You can't be on the camera because you don't have a shirt on, okay? No, coming over here. You can't be on the camera. Cool Easter bunny. That's a cool hat. I like it. For me?
Yeah.
Thanks. All right. A slinky, it's such a wonderful toy. Lots of kids. I did my part. You certainly have, Melissa. You've done amazing. Oh, by the way, Nicole was telling me about your story. That is a wild story. That is a wild journey you've been on. Man, God bless you. That is, holy guacamole. Whoa. But yeah, we got to have children and raise them right. Homeschool our children. Teach them their rights. Grow your food. Grow your food. Don't let them control you. When you're not in debt, when you don't have a mortgage and you grow your food, and then you start a little side hustle, all of you out there, you start a little side hustle, maybe drop shipping something online, maybe a company like Young Living where you sell their essential oil products. Great side hustle for moms, right? When you do stuff like that, you become a lot less controllable. And people that are not controllable are dangerous. And I like to surround myself with dangerous people. But the thing is, the beautiful thing is, like, people that live like that, is ironic, are not a threat to the system. I cannot biologically have children, but we are foster adoptive parents. We want to provide a good home environment for as many kids in need as we can. And you're doing God's work. And perhaps your purpose was to not be able to have biological children because there were children out there that needed you in their life. And by doing the work you're doing, I can't help but think that you are doing God's work. You are fulfilling your purpose here on earth. And those children you raise, instead of being raised in poor environments, will be raised in morality, will be raised in tradition. And make sure you let them know how much you value them, and they bring lots of children into this world themselves, and you'll be a foster grandparent. Teach your children to be monsters, warriors, then teach them to control it and use it. Well, I mean, I like to teach my children I like to say start with morality, and then you can make them a warrior. But yeah, I mean, I'm all for that. I mean, my boy's 4 years old. He's been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu since he was 3. Although I gotta say, the Jiu-Jitsu gym he was doing when he was 3, it was a hard journey. Thank you for saying that. God gives me strength. You are crushing it. You are a gift from God doing what you do. God's plan is bigger than us. Yeah, Foster Bear, that's the crushingness. But yeah, the gym Brady was doing in New York for jiu-jitsu, it was a much superior gym. Like he was on the ground at 3 years old grappling. And like now he's 4 years old. I have him in a class. He's the only 4-year-old, and he's in a class with 5 and 6-year-olds. But even in the 5 and 6-year-old class in the gym he's in now, it's not as effective as the gym he was with when he was 3. So it's like a little pissed off about it. But I'm in a different place now, and there's only so many options here. Like in New York, there were so many gyms to choose from, and Gunter Bear, it said your message is retracted. I don't know why. Whatever you tried to send got blocked. You got blocked, man. Ah, it was a red cardinal. So yeah, I started Brady in Jiu-Jitsu when he was 3. He'll be doing karate and probably wrestling when he gets a little bit older, because I want him to be able to handle himself physically. My personal FBI guy. I don't have to teach mine to be monsters. That came naturally. World's not ready for them. So, yeah, we're doing that. And, of course, as soon as they're ready, only legal stuff, of course, but I'll be teaching them every legal means through which they can protect themselves. And you could extrapolate what that means from an author of a book titled The Right to Bear Arms. But let's just say that by the time my child's 10, you wouldn't want to break into my house. So, but we need to make them strong. But it doesn't just start with that. Like, that's everything we preach here. Like, we need to teach our children skills. They need to be carpenters and engineers, and they need to be artists and musicians. Like, they need to have skills, and they need to have entrepreneurial experience. And we need to raise children that aren't reliant on the system, and that's what we're doing here, and I absolutely love it. So let me I'm gonna take you guys over to the garden. I want to show you some stuff. We've had some developments, and then after I do the garden stuff, I gotta get out 2 videos, and then I have an appointment I have to do at 1, so I want to get everything done before that appointment, and got some stuff I gotta do. The kids really did a number on my morning because Aubrey was up at like 5 something. All right, so first thing we have, I moved the clementine tree outside. It looks like it's doing pretty well. Yeah, teaching them to protect themselves is a priority, and skills are a big part of that. There's a clementine. We moved the avocado tree outside. He's doing well. I mean, he has some beat up stuff here, but he's doing pretty well, I think. You know, like, I don't like the way these leaves look. I have him like behind these trees in Brady's treehouse because it blocks the sun. But the avocado trees don't like too much sun. I moved the zucchinis out here. That one looks good. This one's looking a little sad. I think I have to prune this too. I got to cut this off. This is just not how I want it to be. So, my father-in-law had 2 fig trees that were basically dead, but I told him I would take them, and I'm going to try to revive them. So these are basically 2 fig trees that he didn't take care of, but I'm going to see if I can get them to leaf again. And then I picked up, when my mother was in town, when she came to visit, she wanted to buy me some trees which is really nice of my mom. You slept till 9. 9 o'clock to me is like 2 in the afternoon to most people. Avocado's a fighter. Yeah, he's living it up. So this is a pear tree, and you can see, compliment of my mother, pears. This is another pear tree. So this is I think it's called a Bartlett pear tree. So, ladybug. Great garden bug. Great garden bug. Look at that ladybug. Eat those aphids, baby. Go to work. Right? So there's a Pfeiffer. This is a Bartlett tree. And then this is a Pfeiffer. A Pfeiffer pear tree. So they cross-pollinate and they actually help each other grow more pears. So then, again, compliments of my mother. I now have a Granny Smith apple tree. This is a Granny Smith apple tree. I have a Honeycrisp apple tree. That's Honeycrisp. And then I have a crab apple tree. And an Easter egg still in there that was never discovered. And a crab apple tree. And these 3 trees, with apple trees, you can't have just one tree. They won't produce fruit. You need the multiple different trees to cross-pollinate one another. So the Granny Smith needs the Honeycrisp. And then the crab apple tree actually helps with both of them. Honeycrisp is my favorite apple. All right, Broadbents, remind me once I start producing apples, and I'll take the seeds out and I'll mail you the seeds. And you can grow from seed. Crab apples are, yeah, that's what they're for. So we're going to use these to feed our chickens and farm animals once we have them. So we thought, you know what, it will help cross-pollinate, although I don't like how this looks. I'm new to apple trees, so this is all a learning experience. But they'll cross-pollinate. The crab apple tree will help my other trees grow, and they'll help me feed the chickens and whatnot, because that stuff costs money. But when you grow your food, you can save money. I mean, these buckets, I thought it was $17. We got these for like $9 a bucket. These are laundry baskets. Yeah, you look, mine are in buckets. They're in buckets. These are $9 laundry baskets. The pears. You still doing a homesteading channel? Yes. Once I get at Real Brett Pike grown, so I want to get that account grown so that it like has a lot of followers and gets a lot of video traction, then I'm going to start another channel, homesteading. Pear. Oh, I love I'm sorry, not pears, peaches. I'm sorry, I love the peaches. And there's another peach tree, also producing fruit. So then I moved the grapevine out here. It's a nice looking tree, this grape. Nice looking bush. And you see it's latched on to the fence I put up. And these things are amazing. They're amazing. So this will come over here, and then I'll put up more fence if I have to. But we're growing grapes. Once I get to the homestead, I'm going to build permanent structures for the grapes. I'm starting the RV Life channel this week. So excited to getting things together now. Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool that you're doing that. There's a lot of people that will find that very valuable. Yeah, so then we got the tomatoes. I mean, RVing is such a great way to educate children because you could really take them to all types of places that most people can't. Like you could go to museums and national parks and There's eggplants. There's a little tomato sprout that I planted. Eggplant. Bush beans. We got beans. I actually gave Melissa her own area for a blog, for her blog. So if you look on the left side menu, I created a new category, RV life, and the little blog section in that belongs to Melissa. She could do whatever she wants with it. I have little green bugs on my new little garden. So those green bugs are probably aphids. So there's stuff, you could spray certain essential oils on there to get them off, or you could get them off with water, but those will eat your plants. One of the things you can do is look up what you could plant that ladybugs like. I think dill. And then ladybugs actually eat the aphids. So if you get ladybugs, they'll eat the aphids. But aphids are bad news. You got to get rid of them. Lettuce. It's a lemon plant. Aloe. There's a basil. It's a cherry tree. Cherry tree. See this one, look at this. I did something wrong with this. This is a leafy green, but look, it already went to seed. I got to figure out how to harvest these seeds and keep them for next season. I will have to join then. Even though my daughter is 2, I will join so I can take the classes and learn. Yeah, I mean, we would love to have you. So then you have, these are peppers. I need to plant more peppers, more eggplants, and more leafy greens. I got to plant today.
Hey, Dad, can we go in the back so we could get the balloons so we blow up?
You want to blow up the balloons?
Yeah, Dad, we get to blow up. With the mouth.
Which balloons?
Dad, that's in the car.
Oh, they're in the car? All right, give me a minute. I'll come get them with you. There's Nicole's Kamut. All right, this is Kamut, which is for flour, making flour. Nicole planted this like a week and a half ago, and this thing's a look at that, man. And there's the lemon trees. So, yeah, you're not doing something wrong. Aphids are a very common garden pest. And they show up, and when they do, they eat your food, your crops. So you could spray stuff to get rid of them, but you don't want to spray stuff that's bad for you or your plants. So you want to try to find natural ways. So there are certain essential oil mixtures you could use, just look it up, that you could spray in the plants that will make them go away. But then ultimately what you need is good garden pests. Or bugs, good garden bugs. So ladybugs eat aphids. You could actually go to the store, buy a bag of ladybugs, and then release them into your garden. But if you want them to stay, you got to plant stuff like dill, I believe. And then the ladybugs will stay in your garden and eat all the aphids. What's up, mister? Leave this shut for now. Because I'm not sure. Just leave it for now. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna go hang out with Brady. Bada boom. Oh yeah, well, I mean, welcome to the South. Song of the South. Sweet potato pie in my mouth. All right, guys. Bye-bye.